Taylor Swift has finally done it. Jumped from country to pop. Goodbye, Nathan Chapman. Hello, Max Martin and Shellback. It's time for a review right here on ARTV. I'm going to be talking about 1989, the fifth studio album from pop superstar Taylor Swift. No longer on that country bandwagon, in 1989 this album is through and through a celebration of not only Swift's year of birth, but more importantly of the late 80s pop which so vastly influenced her whenever she was making and creating this record. Look, I was probably as skeptical as the majority of you guys whenever I heard the lead single Shake It Off. In my opinion, her worst song to date, by far. It's very mediocre, it's very cheesy, and there's really not a lot of good qualities to it at all. But whenever I came back around on this record, it was after I heard Out of the Woods. My expectations finally went back up after kind of initially dismissing this as kind of a pop project that just was not going to work for Taylor Swift's personality. Out of the Woods definitely got my hopes back up. Jack Antonoff of Fun and Bleachers produced this one. You can hear his vocals sort of in the background. It does sound like something that he would produce. Sounds like something that could have fit on the Bleachers record, honestly. And I think what works here is that the synthesizers bring this sense of urgency that a lot of the Bleachers songs lacked, and of course Taylor Swift's emotive vocals actually have a nice quality about them. Swift reveals that this track pretty much just came to life from a few pages in her journal, and I love getting to see this intimate side of Swift. It speaks of a relationship that was kind of doomed to fail, two paper airplanes blowing in different directions, if you will. The quick synth line is very bold and it really just helped me fall in love with this tune. Not only that, but the lyrics are classic T Swift, with the bridge of the song being my personal favorite. It really stood out to me more than anything else on this track as Taylor recalls this late night hospital visit after a car crash. After embracing that track, I got excited for 1989. Expectations were raised, and after 2 listens through, I knew that those expectations had been exceeded, and I had a realization that this could be close to the top in terms of my favorite Taylor Swift albums. Blank Space really kicked off things for me after hearing that opening track, Welcome to New York, which I'm still a little bit on the fence about, but I'm coming around on it. Ryan Tedder produced it, and I can't say that I'm in love with it, but it's definitely something that's there. It's fun, and it has a little bit of charisma to offer, but Blank Space is this snarky and biting cut that sees Swift rolling off facts about her ex-lovers and just how unintimidated she is to add the next guy's name to the list. Swift admits that she gets drunk off jealousy and then adds my favorite word of warning, "Darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream." Complete with a little keyboard sound effect and all, this danceable tune works its way up close to the top in terms of my favorites here on 1989. It also goes hand in hand with the next track's style as some of the most entertaining work on this album. The closing track, Clean, really caught my ear after a few listens, that is, for a couple of reasons. One, for, well, the clean production. I guess that makes sense. You can hear each little synth hit, all of the keys in the background are very airy but at the same time effective. 2, it's praiseworthy because of its lyricism. You would think that the world would be sick of hearing about Taylor Swift whining about her past relationships that have gone sour, and we probably would if she wasn't so damn smart about it. On Clean, she compares a relationship to a wine-stained dress that she can't wear anymore, which really struck me as quite clever. If you're looking for more upbeat tracks, have no fear. You've got tracks like the super mediocre Shake It Off, which is, like I said, probably my least favorite Taylor Swift song to date, but hey, I'm talking beyond that. I'd suggest checking out the track of Bad Blood and I Know Places. The latter of those sounding reminiscent of the UK singer Fox's, which is kind of ironic because she refers to foxes, the animal of course, in that song. All throughout, there's just a sense of connectivity in these songs. The producers range from Shellback to Ryan Tedder to Imogen Heap, but still at the same time, they don't feel all that different because at the helm, we've got Taylor Swift doing a little bit of the production and of course the majority of the songwriting. Let's just take a moment to be thankful that we did not get Pharrell Williams on here. Seriously. The synthesizers tend to sound like something straight out of the 80s, just like Swift wanted, but that doesn't happen on every track. Tracks like Bad Blood, which I mentioned just a minute ago, don't sound like the 80s to me, and there's a few other moments like Shake It Off that feel like they could just be 2000s pop. The guitars are very limited, and I guess that's a-okay with me, just because I don't think that they would fit in here most of the time. They do add a little bit of texture and shape whenever they do appear. You're going to hear them in the background of some of the choruses, but they're not going to be anything that just kind of blows your mind because this is an electronic pop record. On the less positive side of the spectrum, we have offerings like How You Get the Girl, which feels like a total misfire. Feels like a really messy production here on this one. Electro beats kind of just clash with these acoustic guitars. It feels as if she's trying to emulate some of her earlier work and then mixing it with a little bit of a new sound, and it just flat out does not work for me. I'm on the fence with her track Wildest Dreams. I don't care for that dark intro featuring light synth and quiet vocals, but the song really does start to break into its own around the 40-second mark. Taylor seems a little bit frustrated on the tracks I Wish You Would and the borderline sassy All You Had to Do Was Stay. The latter of those is honestly a lot of fun with repeated listens. I think you'll find that. I wasn't necessarily clicking with it the first time I heard it, but now it's one that I'm even finding myself singing along with. The only track written solely by Taylor is the slow-moving but emotionally charged This Love. It's a bit strange seeing her going from writing almost every song herself to just one lone song is out there written only by Taylor. I miss Fearless, I miss... Just shut up. Hey, change is good sometimes, and I can't say the results of this album are disappointing at all. Synth-led 80s electro pop, that's what Taylor has crafted for us here on 1989. None of the songs sound like Shake It Off other than Shake It Off, and that's very much a good thing. However, it does leave that song kind of sitting on its own. It's like that kid at the party just kind of sitting in the corner awkwardly, not really talking or interacting with anyone. Overall, my expectations were exceeded. I was very much pleased with that. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. If you've heard 1989, let me know your thoughts on the album in the comments section down below. Don't forget to check the subscription to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and of course see my favorite and least favorite tracks from this album and more information on the album itself. Thank you guys so much for watching this review, hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Share the video with a friend if you did enjoy this review. Help grow the channel. I'd very much appreciate it. I have reviews for Black Veil Brides, possibly Lil Wayne if his album doesn't actually get delayed. So subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see those and many other reviews that are on the way, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV, Beyond the Reviews.